Good afternoon, Mark at the Expert Corner group and the Wicked Edge Expert Corner group on Facebook. Let me say one more thing. I always like to say one more thing. We were talking about stones, which is the best, and I said I like Shapton glass or the new Rockstar and the Choceras. Let me tell you pull this all together, how this came about with the stones. Because I was using diamond stones and I ran into difficulties sharpening hard steels, and then I tried whetstones, and then I wanted to see which was best. So I tried different whetstones, and then I had different steels. And my quest with the different steels led me to discover uneven ground knives. And I gravitated towards Japanese chef knives because I prefer to use chef knives, knives in the kitchen, because I have an excuse to use them. I can get different knives out of different steels and different sizes. And it was like the drill index, all the different sizes. I had an excuse to buy a lot of different knives. And in chef knives, you had a large variety of sizes, shapes, and steels. And the steels with my whetstones, it invited the study of which stone is best for which steel. But at the same time, my excuse to have knives to sharpen, because I like to sharpen knives, and you can only have so many knives and you can only sharpen it so many times. So if you get more knives, the thought is you have more opportunities to sharpen a knife. The truth is you have more knives, so you use each knife less, so you don't sharpen anymore. But anyway, it was a good excuse I used to buy more knives, of more steels, to try to sharpen them with the different stones to figure out which was best, which led me to discover the asymmetrically ground knives. Now I'm trying to figure out, how do I sharpen that fakakta knife on a sharpener where you set the angle on each side separately but together, and the challenge of sharpening them, Japanese chef knives, asymmetrically ground Japanese chef knives, on fixed position guided sharpening systems, was a challenge that nobody ever really approached. The whole subject of using freehand style whetstones and applying them to a fixed position guided sharpening system where the knife is clamped and the stones you move in your hand at a set angle across it. The stones were always used flat and wet, and you rubbed and you moved the knife however you needed to move it, and then you flipped it over and you did the other side however you did it, because you were doing it different way on each side. So there's a lot of variability, but if you did it well, you did it well. Well, we went to the fixed sharpeners to take care of the variability, but we're trying to sharpen goofy knives. So that's what I do here at the Expert Corner group. Besides messing with making Wicked Edge as usable as all the other guided sharpeners, I'm trying to figure out how to sharpen the goofy knives. The knives that are single-sided, 70-30, 60-40, 50-50, 80-20, and to describe them and to understand the knives. And we do that on Sunday School Knife Talk. And there's some out there, and I did a so-so job on it, explaining how to sharpen it, and we're going to get into that. But I just, at this point, I want to say, if we're talking about the stones and the mediums and the accessories and the upgrades and what I do here at the Expert Corner group, it all came together as an excuse to buy more knives. If you're going to buy knives, you got to have a reason to buy them, and the reason to buy them was to figure out which one was better. And to figure out which one was better, I had to figure out, well, what's the difference between each? And to know which is better, you have to sharpen it, and which one sharpens better contributes. And the whole thing snowballed into a massive hobby that lets me interact with a lot of people centered around using your wicked edge. So that's what we do here at the Wicked Edge Expert Corner group and YouTube channel, and I appreciate participation and conversation and comments, and thank you for watching.